All right, bro. I think we're live, man. This is
Wait a minute, we're live?
we're live, man. This is
Oh
it.
man. Wait, I'm a little scared. You didn't tell me you was recording this.
Yeah, of course, man. We're recording this. This is our third broadcast for these special edition episodes that we're releasing on Monday, and I'm really excited about tonight's topic. I didn't know what it was going to be until you reached out to me and said, hey, I think this would be a good topic, man. So thank you for choosing this topic. It's right on time as we transition into the new presidency for President-elect Donald Trump. And so, yeah, man. So what's going on with you, bro? How's your week, or how's your week going so far? I guess we can start there.
Weeks so far so good. Just finished another book, and I just actually, you wouldn't believe the book that I'm reading right now that I just started today.
Well, what's the name of it?
Don't end this podcast. Don't end it, but it's called, it's a national bestseller. It's called The Faith of George W. Bush, and it was written by
Oh,
Stephen Mansfield. I'm trying to learn about all the things that I seem to be misinformed about.
yeah.
You ever get that where you go towards what you don't know as opposed to like blocking it off? How do you feel about that?
Uh, well, so yeah. So to answer the question, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that for me, of course, there's always a lot of stuff that we don't know about, but some of the stuff that we feel that we should know about, as far as even when it comes down to the presidencies and learning about their mindset and some of the decisions that they made while they were in office. Even going with Trump, I definitely not a Trump supporter, and even with some of the cabinet elections that he's putting in place, it raises my eyebrows even further to figure out, okay, what the hell is this guy doing? But um, so so what made you go or read? So what made you pick up that book? Because that's not something that. Hey,
Oh
what book are you
man.
currently reading? Oh, The Faith of
Uh,
George W. Bush.
oh my God. It's not like how I hated cats and I went into Barnes and Nobles and just had a feeling to find out about something I hated. It's not
Yeah,
like that with the Homer's Odyssey by Gwen Cooper. This one is actually, to be honest, one of my business partners, Amy Pittman, she actually invited a bunch of us to this kind of like a book. It was, I don't know what it was called, bro, but like this place that she took us to at the state fairgrounds about
yeah,
maybe a year ago. They had you bring a box, like a box however big you wanted, or a bag as big as you wanted, and
hmm
it had millions of books there for like you get a whole bundle.
yeah,
Like a let's take like what's a big box or a bag? Let's say like a 30-gallon bag.
yeah.
Right? You can bring a 30-gallon bag to this book thing
hmm
and
And
it's
see,
only $3 for
wow.
all of the books. So they had like Think and Grow Rich in there. They had like
Oh,
all of this. So I took home literally that day. I took home at least 100. It seemed like at least 100 books
get the hell out of here. Are you
for
serious? Oh
like
my goodness.
$4 for less than $5. So it's like this. All the libraries in the county, the books that they can't use, or the libraries that went out of business, or the ones that they rebuilt,
Yeah,
they can't sell them or something like that. So they put them like there's millions of them.
yeah.
So that's how I got this book. So I loaded up on so many great
Wow.
books. It's crazy. Yeah.
Wow. So all right. So my follow up question to that, and then of course we'll get on the topic is, so you say you have over 100 books, but still you picked that one to read.
Oh,
Was it one
cause
of
I
those?
don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the type of guy that like, yo, everybody's talking about how crazy Kanye West is, right?
Yeah,
I'm the guy that's waiting, right? Because I think this is all entertainment and I think
yeah,
that he's really just trolling everybody, right?
yeah,
So, but I still, at the end of the day, I'm that guy that just needs to wait. So I know everybody is. Damn, how ironic is that we're talking about Kanye West and George Bush? Remember, he said George Bush don't care about black people.
yeah.
That's
Oh.
crazy. That was real crazy. But yeah, it's things like that and statements like that about this person.
Yeah.
So I wanted to learn for myself. That's just what it is.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
I'm
But
trying to know what I don't know. I'm trying to know what I don't know.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, and it's always good to read. I know a lot of people. George Bush wasn't a favorite among presidents. But it's always good to. That's like, well, I'm not putting George Bush and this guy in the same category, but that's like reading a book by Hitler, right? If Hitler wrote a book, that's like picking up a book and reading. Like, so you would think, like, why in the hell is this person reading a book by Hitler? But there's a lot of stuff you can learn, even from people that were as evil as Hitler. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn about his mindset and what led him to that state of mind that he was in. So
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? This first chapter that I read, right?
mm-hmm.
Do you know who George W. Bush's favorite philosopher of all time is?
Who?
Take a guess.
Who's George Bush's favorite philosopher of all time?
Favorite philosopher of all time.
I don't know. There's so many great ones, man. I'm just gonna say, I'll just say William James. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Okay.
Now that's worth me wanting to read a couple more pages. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Now you know what I'm interested to know.
What's that?
How much backlash did you get? Because you didn't choose to exercise your right to vote this past election, right?
Yeah.
How is the backlash on that? I've been meeting a lot. Here's two people I've been meeting lately. I've been meeting a lot of people who direct movies.
Yeah.
I've also been meeting a lot of people who did not vote.
Yeah.
I'm not the person that gives backlash. I was open to having the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
How has your backlash been for not choosing to vote this past election?
Well, see, me, like, I'm the type of person who, which is funny that the topic we're going to talk about tonight, but it's a little different because before people was like, well, if you're not voting, you can't complain about whoever ends up in office. You can't complain about the decisions they make. You can't complain because you didn't vote at all. So with that line of thinking, I try not to complain per se, but I will address some of the decisions that the president-elect made. So I guess it may even be one and the same. So now that I'm going to start talking about...
But are people bothering, like, are people letting you breathe, being that they know, or are people, like, accepting of you? Because I've seen a couple of people get bashed for not voting. Like, even what they do with the football player, Kaepernick, who is kneeling. Yeah. They gave him a lot of backlash because he chose not to vote. Yeah. So, like, how is your surroundings? How is your circle? Are they, accepting of it? Are they like, why didn't you do this? Or, how is that?
There's a combination of the two. But it's leaning towards more people being accepting because they know my stance. I'm 33 years old and I haven't voted once at all in the entire time of my life. And people know that about me. They know my philosophy regarding voting and they know that, hey, Charles doesn't vote. But at the same time, I don't judge people who do vote for a candidate I'm not particularly interested in. So nice. I guess it's like one of those mutual respect things. Hey, I don't bash you for voting for that person. So just please respect my right to not to vote.
Very nice. And I definitely respect that of you as well as everybody else who took that choice.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Now, I will say I do feel guilty for not voting on a local level, which I'm going to start doing because that in itself to me is highly important. So next time around, I'm definitely going to vote on a local level for some of our local congressmen because those are the ones who get our word and our message to.
So is this going to be your first time voting, even for locals? This is going to be your first time ever?
First time, yeah.
No, you didn't do no Obama, no nothing.
No, sir. No, sir.
Wow, that's crazy. That's what's up. So you're going local?
Yeah. I'm going to start on local level.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, of course.
Can you run for alderman? I really think you would be a great alderman slash mayor slash governor of Maryland.
He said run for elder man.
I really do.
I don't know. I mean, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
And,
you should. You know what? If you ran, I might move back to Maryland just so I can vote for you to get in. Yeah, Charles Rivers for governor. Yeah.
That's funny. It was cool stuff, man. But yeah, bro. Let's hop into tonight's topic. Um,
Okay.
I when you threw it out there, I was like, yeah, let's go with it. It's right on time. And we're going to talk about, of course, we know Donald Trump's background, billionaire, and his ties to business. And a lot of if not any of the past presidents, from what I understand, or what I know, were not billionaires when they took office. Most of them, if not all of them, had some type of political background. They held some type of office throughout their careers. Donald Trump will probably be, and I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know the fact, but Donald Trump could be the first president to not have held any type of political office previously before accepting the presidency.
You might be right.
So that in itself is pretty interesting. But what's more interesting is how this is going to impact business, being that he's coming from a business mindset. Like all of his decisions are going to be particularly based off of how will this impact the economy from a monetary standpoint.
This is gonna. I mean, that's a question that I think that's gonna go on for the next 4 years minimum.
Yeah.
And now, when we talk about impact on business, does family legacy count as this business we're talking about, or would we exclude that?
Yeah, because some of the decisions that are going to be made while he's in office could possibly change the trajectory of a family's economic future, depending on what it is. There's a lot of different ways that a family's economic future is impacted, but it's going to be interesting. For example, he could come in office and get rid of welfare. Right now, that could be a good thing. That could be a bad thing, depending on who you're asking. Right?
Get rid of it altogether?
Well, I'm being a little dramatic. I'm just saying that if like if he was to do that, what would be the impact? What families, like what families will be impacted? The people that take advantage of the system, welfare systems, of course, will be impacted probably the most. And then those people who are
now should they? You just said that should they be like? Should people be taking advantage of welfare? I know you just threw it out there, but should people be taking advantage of welfare, or should they just be using it?
No, they should definitely just be using it. That welfare is paid through tax dollars, I think, eventually. So if somebody's working, full time, but then somehow through one way or another they're gaming the system, making it look like they make less than money than they earn, then they're gaming the system, right? And I think with welfare, there's a pool of money, right, and the money's evenly distributed amongst millions of people. So if somebody's gaming the system, it's pretty much like it's putting your hand in the cookie jar when you have a whole pack of Oreos behind your back.
Wow, no, you didn't. Yeah, no, that was funny. I mean, on the other side of it, that's the welfare side. On the other side, for the people who, I this will also, like, the only legacy that's really been in politics has been like the Kennedys, maybe you may say, right?
Yeah.
Which I just recently finished a book with them.
Yeah.
You also have maybe the Bush family, right? The Bush administration.
Oh, yeah,
that's a little bit of a legacy.
Yeah.
And you have potentially, You have this, like, we're talking about like legacy, right? Family legacy. When I think of the Trumps prior to him running,
Yeah,
right? I was thinking like that's a family name. Like his father left him something, right?
yeah,
And then he took something, and then he's positioning all his children to do something as well. So I
yeah,
think if we're counting family legacy into this business equation,
yeah.
I think that's going to be really good. Not to say that what Barack Obama isn't creating legacy now, but his children are still growing. They're still going to school. They're still going to college. What's your take on that?
So, all right. So the question I would have for anybody listening in who may have some ideas or philosophies regarding this is, what is he going to do to sustain that legacy? Right? How many toes is he going to step on? How many policies is he going to put in place to sustain his level of power? Because not only are you a billionaire,
I don't
you're
think
the
he could do it. I don't think he could do it. What you just said, I don't think he's going to be able to do it.
what you mean as far as
He's not going to be able to balance the two. I don't think he's going to be able to. Something's going to have to give. He's either going to be impeached or his business is going to go all the way down the drain.
Well, there was a I don't know. I don't know if you saw I put a post on Facebook earlier. I don't know if you saw it. I was listening to Democracy Now. It's a nice show. They talk a lot about a lot of the stuff the mainstream media doesn't talk about. And they were talking about one of his cabinet selections. Rex Tillerson is his name. He's the CEO of ExxonMobil, and he's going to be the Secretary of State. There's a strong possibility that Donald Trump is going to elect him as Secretary of State. Now, the big fuss is, and this is even amongst Republicans as well, that Exxon is already under scrutiny for a lot of shady business that they've doing behind the scenes. But also the CEO, Rex Tillerson, he has close ties or close friendships with the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. So with that in mind, that within itself, he's getting a lot of scrutiny. Now, what they're saying is maybe Donald Trump's doing this for just to see the feedback that he would get from the U.S. and around the world, or it could be somebody he appoints to Secretary of State, which could mean a number of things that may not be in the favor of the U.S. economy.
Man, that all just sounded like Spanish to me. This has been like I miss the days when he was able to vote for President Barack Obama. Like, because I'm kind of like Dave Chappelle with this thing. Dave Chappelle, he's like, it's kind of like personality. Like, oh, this guy seems kind of, cool. He was joking, but to every joke, there's some truth.
Yeah.
Right? I never really see change. For me, like what happens in my house, I rarely see come from something that was dripped down from the White House. So for me, like everything, like the Exxon CEO, I don't even understand that crap. Like all I know is this, right? And this is how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Whether you gotta go, you either gotta, like what you said, you either don't participate in this politician thing.
Yeah.
Or you got to get involved, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I believe that the same way that Barack made some people of color feel better about the color of their skin,
Yeah.
I feel that Donald Trump is going to do the same thing for people who are in business. And that is to the extent of where my thinking goes on this.
Yeah.
Like whatever else he does, man, that's fantastic. And if I can ever feel something from the president, let me feel something, Charles. Can I feel? Have you felt anything from a presidency?
Personally,
in your house. Tell me about your house. What did you feel?
You mean like what you mean? Like,
did you feel something? I know some people, for example, some people who had health insurance.
Yeah.
They felt it either went up or it went down tremendously. And my part-time business, I do a lot of stuff in that industry, right? So
Yeah.
I've seen people say, man, since this Obama healthcare, my rates went all the way up.
Yeah.
So they felt that in their house. But I don't use traditional health insurance, so that didn't affect me. Like,
Yeah.
have you ever been affected? I know you haven't ever voted locally or on the big scale, but have you and your family ever felt anything that came down from the White House in your house?
Um, I'm trying to see if I can tie it into the insurance thing or if there's anything other than that.
No, anything outside of
Um,
anything.
I'm pretty sure there is. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
But you can't think of it. What credit do you? What do you want to come back next week and say, "Oh yeah, I remember what the presidency has done for my house"? No, you
Yeah,
you should know that.
yeah, but I
If
think the
that's like if I
presidency.
ask you, "How does your lady treat you?" and if you say, well, I'm gonna, you know what? I can't really think of that right now. If you ever say that,
Yeah,
that's a problem. You can't give me one thing. That's a problem.
yeah. Well,
You didn't feel nothing. You
so
didn't
is that
feel nothing. If you felt
so?
something, tell me now. Tell us now.
All right, so would that be a problem? What? Why would it be a problem though?
It's a problem because robbing billions. They're robbing billions of dollars from us, the people, to support their garbage that's not even affecting us.
Yeah,
If you're gonna do it, don't take our money too. They're taking billions of dollars to
that's
run their
true.
campaigns, TV, promotional ads, all of this stuff,
Yeah,
conditioning, programming. We
yeah,
can't erase the type of things that we saw in this campaign this year. We can't erase it from our memory. Remember, you got
yeah.
to grab her by the pussy, right? You got to grab her by. You can't forget that. So can are we getting to the point where we remember things like that more than we can feel what is actually coming from the house?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
You remember that, don't you? You remember that.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess no, I guess so. I would say it's impacted. Well, and I don't know how this tied in, but like on a local level, where the in Baltimore they were closing down or shutting down a lot of recreational centers, and they were even talking about funding. So they were talking about shutting down recreational centers, but actually building more prisons. So there was this big deal going on where they were trying to build this new. I don't know how big of a facility is going to be a record. It was going to be it was going to be a jail for youth, and there was a lot of debate back and forth, and they were trying to get funding and all that other good jazz. So that within itself, although on a state level, that can come from the top down, right? If the president doesn't have any policies in place to where, okay, well, you can have so many jails in relation to these X number of recreational centers. But like I said, I'm not sure how it all works because I know there's federal level and there's state level, and I don't know at what part of the state level can the federal government get involved with issues like that.
Know what they need you. I'm trying to tell you. They need you. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
Your influence, your impact, your voice, your commitment to that city and state. How long have you been in the state of Maryland?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah. 10 years.
You've done a lot of good in that state.
Mm.
Right? And recreational centers?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now, what if what you were saying is true? Like there has to be a certain amount of prisons for however many recreation centers. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
That's crazy. That's who does that?
I said. Yeah. People who are driven by profit is who does that. So, but yeah. So
Oh man.
yes. So did we? So did we answer the question? I think we answered it kind of subtly. What's Donald Trump's impact going to be on business? And I think we both said it. Being that he already has a business mindset, is going to have a huge impact. Now, is it going to be on big corporations, or are we talking about little small mom and pops? We do know that small businesses provide most of the jobs here in the U.S. So I think as we move forward, that's something that we all should just keep an eye on, or those who have an interest in business, that we should all make sure we keep an eye on that. What impact is it going to have on small business owners, as well as big corporations?
Well, I'm definitely going to say this real bit. You said we answered it a little bit subtle. Let me be more direct.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to advise people to do during the course of this next 4 years. And listen, this is how I feel about it, and I don't care what anybody has to say. From the day that President Barack Obama was elected, I was actually, the first time he got elected, I was in Panama celebrating my birthday. The first time he ever got elected, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And from that moment, I've never felt, in all of my 36 years, I've never felt more proud to be a black man here in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Never. And I don't know if it was that way or if it was my mindset and what I programmed myself to believe, but my confidence was different.
Yeah.
When I would walk into a room, I felt more comfortable. I thought I had the edge. I thought I had the unfair advantage because of the color of my skin. I thought I had at least, at minimum, an equal opportunity.
Yeah.
What I'm advising every business owner around the United States of America to do is I'm challenging you to get in where you fit in. And I will also say this, bad business will be separated from people that are doing real business. Get in where you fit in. These next 4 years, you're going to see a lot of business happen, whether it's Donald Trump doing business, or it's Jay-Z doing business, or it's Ben Carson doing business, or it's Hillary Clinton doing business. You're going to see a lot of business being done. Monetize on the next 4 years as an entrepreneur. The time is now to live the words of Benjamin Franklin, who said, "Well done is better than well said." We've lived through this technology phase. We lived through the information age. Now we have an opportunity to be in the execution age. This is the time to execute on all of your business ideas. I don't know if Trump will have anything to do with that, but he's a businessman, and that's how our perception of him is. Take advantage and get in where you fit in, to all my business owners around the United States.
I like it, bro. So that's a good way to transition out of here. So Demetrius, I want to again thank you for picking this topic today. It was really interesting. And yeah, man, I'm going to be looking forward to these Monday releases, man. They're a lot shorter than our Wednesday episodes. And, it's just me and you chatting it up, talking about things that are more recent, things that are more current. So we air every Monday. Be sure to check us out at innersuccessradio.com. Also over on Facebook at Inner Success Radio. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe. And also check out our Wednesday episode. We release every Wednesday as well. And those episodes are a little longer, and we bring on guests, and we just chat about health, wealth, and inspiration, and pretty much anything else in between that relates to those three topics. So, Demetrius, bro, have a good rest of the week, man, and I'll talk to you next Monday, bro.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Peace.